November 22, 1963. The presidential motorcade rolled slowly through the streets of Dallas under a bright Texas sky. Crowds lined the sidewalks, and there was a palpable sense of historical momentum in the air. Then, the sharp crack of gunfire cut through the noise. People froze, confused, before panic set in. Bystanders screamed and dropped to the ground as a celebration violently unraveled into terror. In just 10 seconds, the forward trajectory of the country was severed. The shots didn't just end a presidency, they created a rupture in the American story that remains open to this day. Within hours, authorities had their suspect. They presented Lee Harvey Oswald, a 24-year-old former Marine, as the lone gunman responsible for the murder. According to the official timeline, Oswald acted entirely alone, firing 3 shots from a 6th-floor corner window of the Texas School Book Depository. The government moved with remarkable speed to close the book. They built a massive case almost overnight, assuring a grieving public that the matter was settled and the killer was in custody. But as independent researchers and ballistics experts began to scrutinize the timeline, the neatness of the official report collided hard against the physical realities of the crime scene. The first major hurdle in the government's narrative was the clock. The official record stated the shooter fired 3 separate shots in under 6 seconds, and they claimed he did it with this, an Italian bolt-action rifle. It was an older weapon, notorious for being stiff and difficult to cycle quickly, making rapid, highly accurate fire nearly impossible for even skilled marksmen to replicate. This diagram maps the path required to make the official timeline work. To account for all the damage, a single projectile, what critics dubbed the magic bullet, had to enter the president's back, exit his throat, strike Governor Connolly in the back, shatter a rib, exit his chest, break his wrist, and finally lodge in his thigh. After carving a path through multiple bodies and shattering 2 bones, the projectile recovered from a hospital stretcher looked almost completely pristine. Accepting the single-shooter narrative meant asking the public to ignore standard ballistics and the basic rules of physical logic. Then came the ultimate mechanical witness, a home movie captured by a local dress manufacturer named Abraham Zapruder. His 8mm camera recorded the entire sequence, and when people finally studied the film frame by frame, one specific physical reaction stood out. Upon the fatal impact, the president's head and body jerked violently backward. To many viewers, this physical recoil directly contradicted the idea that the shot originated from the book depository behind the car. This visual evidence aligned with dozens of eyewitnesses in the crowd. They reported hearing gunfire and smelling gun smoke and seeing suspicious individuals near the fence on the grassy knoll, directly in front of the motorcade. That single piece of footage effectively broke the government's official timeline in the eyes of the American public. The chance for a trial vanished 2 days later. Millions watched live on television as a Dallas nightclub owner named Jack Ruby stepped out of a crowd and shot the prime suspect in the stomach. With the accused assassin dead, his past remained a source of deep confusion. He was a former U.S. Marine who defected to the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War, only to return to America without facing any serious punishment, a detail that suggested hidden intelligence ties. Meanwhile, the investigation's physical foundation began to crumble. Over the subsequent years, audio recordings vanished, witness testimonies conflicted, and medical reports were heavily altered. The situation deteriorated so significantly that by the late 1970s, the government investigated itself. The House Select Committee on Assassinations reopened the case and delivered a stunning conclusion. A conspiracy was probable. By losing the prime suspect and mismanaging the physical evidence, the investigation transformed a localized murder into an unsolvable systemic mystery. In the absence of hard facts, massive theories took root. People pointed fingers at the mafia, rogue intelligence officers, and foreign adversaries like Fidel Castro. It is a strange geographical irony. Anyone who visits Dealey Plaza today notices how small and intimate the physical space actually is. Yet this tiny patch of Texas asphalt birthed a globally complex mystery. Even now, after decades of intense public pressure and the release of thousands of records, key documents remain partially classified or withheld. The assassination served as the starting point for modern civic skepticism. It broke the seal of public trust, preceding the disillusionment of Vietnam and the scandal of Watergate. The gunshots in Dealey Plaza effectively ended an era of institutional faith. In the silence that followed, America began looking at its own leaders with a new, permanent sense of suspicion.